Right, our main news today. 3 police forces now are actively searching for a jailed Epping hotel asylum seeker after he was mistakenly released from HMP Chelmsford.
The urgent manhunt is for 41-year-old Hadush Gerberslasie, an Ethiopian national. And of course it comes after he was jailed, if you remember, for 12 months for sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl.
He was the one that caused his arrest, is what caused all the problems outside the Bell Hotel in Epping. There's all this concern about it spread across the country. Then he was convicted, sent to jail. Anyway, now he's out. The Deputy Prime Minister and Justice Secretary, David Lammy, has expressed his outrage.
Well, I'm appalled and livid on behalf of the public that Kebatu is at large. He should be deported back to Ethiopia after the sexual assaults that he's committed. And of course, there is now a manhunt with Essex Police, the Metropolitan Police and British Transport Police looking for him. We know that he boarded a train and is at large in London. And of course, I've asked for a full investigation into what's happened, and an officer has been suspended.
Now, meanwhile, the Conservative leader, Kemi Badenoch, labelled the mistake a level of incompetence that beggars belief.
Let's talk to our national reporter, Charlie Pieces. I mean, it does beg a belief, Charlie, in it was this individual who caused so many problems outside migrant hotels up and down the country, his particular case.
It beggars belief, but actually, when you look shockingly at the data, this isn't all that rare. Last year, 262 prisoners were accidentally released, almost 5 a week during the last calendar year, where figures are taken by the Prison and Probation Service, double almost from the year before. But the reason why we now have this focus, of course, is because this particular prison is so notorious. This offender, Hadush Gerberslasie, because as you said, Stephen, his offending sparked that protest outside the Bell Hotel in Epping, which then led to wider disorder with counter-protesters and many other protests across the country. And what's also especially galling about this case is that while he boarded a train at 12:41 from Chelmsford to London, the force, Essex Police, was only notified of an error, which is a remarkable understatement, just before 1 p.m. So he was already on his way to the capital before the police force was informed that this man had been accidentally released. And we have that remarkable footage you're seeing now, captured by someone in Chelmsford city centre just after midday, we believe, speaking with locals, carrying that prison issue bag with his belongings in it and wearing the grey prison tracksuits, the same tracksuit I saw him wearing when I was there to see him found guilty at the Magistrates' Court, just a few minutes walk away from his position there last month. He's been in prison for 108 days before yesterday because he was held on remand ahead of his trial.
Hello, I'm Bev Turner. Now, it can feel like the money in our bank accounts at the moment does not keep up with the cost of living, and maybe there's a solution. I'm here today with the CEO of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. Cameron, what is TallyMoney?
Well, Bev, with TallyMoney, you get a current account and a debit card, but instead of pounds, you use milligrams of gold as your everyday money.
So why gold?
Gold traditionally is a great store of value. It has, on average, gone up at over 11% per annum for the last 25 years against the pound. It's tripled in value in the last decade. And in the last 2 years alone, it's increased by 50% against the pound. Banks' savings products just can't compete with that level of growth.
But this isn't just about gold. This is about a currency that you guys have created at TallyMoney. Explain it to me as though I'm an idiot.
So, look, people need to be able to hold their earnings and build their savings in a money that retains its value and remains in their legal control and remains theirs to access, away from government control.
Great. You had me at not exposed to government control.
You should feel safe and happy with your money. You should have peace of mind. The more money you see in your bank balance, and that's the type of thing we're trying to deliver, and give people choice in the type of money they get to use every day.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Cameron. Thank you.
And his sentencing, but he's left into total freedom, of course, because he's now at large. 3 forces are currently involved in searching for him. Obviously, the Met, British Transport Police and Essex Police. But other forces could very quickly become involved if there is a sighting of him at another rail station, if he is seen in a wider part of the city. Because if you look at sort of range rings, assessing the potential distance he could travel by now, it's quite vast.
I mean, the irony is, though, with all of this, it's not actually his fault.
Well, I mean...
Is it? I mean, he did. I mean, he was released.
They let him out.
They let him out.
You know, you could expect a prisoner to turn around and say, excuse me, I think this is going wrong.
Well, you could.
But you can't also expect a foreign sex attacker who's been in the country for barely a week before he assaulted a 14-year-old girl to be a man of high integrity to tell the police, sorry, I meant to be deported, not to be released into Chelmsford. So
he was released in prison garb as well. I mean,
precisely.
I know that just looks to you and me like a grey tracksuit, but it is prison garb.
It's so distinctive.
And I mean, I've been Googling this like crazy. I'm sure you know better. But apparently, if you have none of your own clothes to change back into upon release, there are charities that deliberately donate to prisons for that purpose. You will be offered civvy clothes.
And it's not a brief process as well, Anne, exiting a prison. He also would have been given around £72 in cash, which is how he would have been able to board that train. He would have had other belongings in that bag as well. It's quite a heavy bag, you can see, and it's clear, of course, for security reasons when they're going through the prisons to make sure they're not carrying out something they shouldn't. But, of course, he's carried himself out that he shouldn't. So this is going to be such a disaster for the Ministry of Justice. Whatever happens now, whenever he is found, and it is reasonably likely he will be found, but there is a chance that he could just disappear into nowhere, and he could vanish, because we do know that there are, populations in this country who can go undetected. There are people who overstay their visas and slip away from the system. But because he is so notorious and so infamous as the Ethiopian migrant who arrived through Europe, travelled to the country and then committed these acts so quickly after arriving here, there will be additional pressure and I imagine additional resources to locate him. What was also curious, attending his trial, was how the Crown Prosecution Service and the state had sought to gather some information about him travelling through other countries. And they said they weren't able to find any evidence of prior offending. And so he was deemed to be of good character in the trial, in the sentencing, before he got that 12-month sentence, which means under the Borders Act, automatic deportation. There is a lack of information about this man. When they spoke to other nations to gather information, nothing came back on prior offending. They don't know his links, as is the problem with so many people who arrive, well, almost all people who arrive to this country via small boats. We don't know their past, we don't know where they've been, and crucially, we don't know who they know. Hadush Gerberslasie, for all we're aware, could have contacts and people he can associate with in Britain who might keep him safe.
Well, when he was first arrested and gave up his belongings, he must have had a mobile phone.
Yes.
So presumably that's been returned to him in that bag.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So he'll have contacts to get in touch with straight away who will hide him.
And what are the wider contacts and networks that he has available to him in London? Why did he take that train so quickly? Where has he gone now? These will, of course, be the urgent questions for detectives as they seek to sort of close the net on him. But the net is extremely vast right now.
Yeah, well, at least it is London, which does mean there's CCTV on practically every lamppost.
And that'll be why British Transport Police will be looking at where he got off and which carriage he was in.
Facial recognition should hopefully track him.
Oh, well, people might change their mind about that then.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie, for now, thanks very much indeed.
It is